Just make sure you keep an eye, make sure when it reaches 10, okay? Anyways, so this is what we're thinking about, for an MMO game. And me and my friend Mike here, we keep talking about a game like I would like to see designed. So in other words, this is like my almost free concept, to anybody who wants to take it, make something with it or approach me, please, but otherwise, you have this MMO where the players can do anything. And right now, we're talking about, and I brought up the subject like, hey, what if we could, I could walk away from the computer and slave my character to like a central hub or another character, So it's like, say you had a command post, and it was like essentially a lounge or whatever, or it was just like a billboard even. So that way, your guy could be present, not present, whatever. But because in the game world, if you're present, you take up space. You can't clip, So that's the important thing always. So there is some element of risk in this endeavor, but that's part of that's part of the game, You never know what you're going to walk into, and you may be totally devastated and you have to rebuild. But luckily, you got so many. When you are devastated, in this real life thing, you have a sort of insurance policy in place. That's just automatic. You're not going to ding the player because he took a chance, and went away for a week and came back and it's like, oh, what the hell happened to my character? It's like, no, if the, whatever roll of the dice happens, and in a sense, you kind of want to leave your guy on all the time because then you always be accruing experience and getting better, improving in skill. So it makes sense you just log off and leave your guy. If your guy gets killed off, well, when you come back, hey, you get to select a heir. And the reason why is because all of your heirs have hidden, in a sense, and that's the whole genealogy concept. Anyways, so Mike and I are talking, and I'm saying, hey, so you can slave your character, your avatar, to a command post. What's going to happen is any character that walks up and says, I need a party, but there's nobody live available and who wants to participate. So can I recruit, in a sense? And so that could be part of the stipulation you set up too, is that we'll only participate in these sorts of missions. Say somebody needs a helper going through a really hard area, or somebody just needs an escort, in a sense. Really, that's all it is. Who needs an escort? I'll escort you. I'm a high-level character. I don't mind helping you, level up your guy. Increase the skill of your guy. And so in a sense, you can have that, as one character, one-on-one. And it could be just a little icon, on the screen. And so hey, you click on that icon, bam, you are now in the command interface of the other character. And you can also have the third, viewpoint, the floating eye avatar, which is basically it's your another character you can control. So you can literally leave your avatar in place, doing whatever it's doing, and you can float around the game world and look around and see what's happening. So it's kind of like Second Life, But it's this third eye view that doesn't interfere with anything. It can kind of pass through walls, through matter, but to a point. It's it makes sense to always lock doors. If you don't have, if a door is, that has no lock on it, and a door exists in the game world, it can be passed through. And so there, in a sense, you have a spy. There's always that element of a spy. So that's why. But if it's locked, and if it's just an air vent of whatever size, whatever, it's that's the only way. It's there's just no way. It has to be a totally sealed room. So that's the only way you can keep true secrets. But that's a whole other concept. So I want to grind my character. But the thing is, I really want to do it quickly. I want to have whatever-buddy helping me, whoever helping me. I go to the command post. I scan through the list of players available to me, who are willing to join me, and I have to specifically state, to the server, to the command post, these are this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to be going after, and so based off of that, it's going to link me up and show me who's available. It's going to show me everybody's available. So and guys who are good in green and golden, and guys who are no, they're slightly the parameters do not meet. And then there's guys who are no, totally not going to allow me. So you can imagine a color scheme for that. But anyways, So the guys who are green and available, you can select, and it's like they can be of any level, whatever. They can be online, offline, even. So that you could have that effect. The guy who's he's online, but he's walked away from the keyboard. He's got other stuff to do, but he's leaving his guy available, so it can be a summons. This also goes along with the whole Age of Conan thing he was telling me earlier, in that for sieges, which would require a lot of armies, a lot of players, in a good and a bad way. What you can have is you can have keeps anywhere, and there's certain sizes you can occupy. So really what it is, you get the husk of a community, and you then get to invest your military structures in that husk, which I think that's yeah, I dig it. I really dig that model, and I think that's going to take off. I am of the opinion that yeah, you have a persistent game world, but it's also changeable on a whim, changeable, so that you can basically as long as you have an NPC or yourself even, and you would allow your avatar to construct things, so that's part of that crafting, and so that's why you would leave your guy plugged in, so that he's continuing a task that you just want done. And the thing is, to deter other players from just killing that player, there's like several different elements. It's like, for one, you have an offspring, and so the first thing you're going to do when you establish a new character is that you're going to establish vengeance. You're a feud, and it's allowed within the game that if you kill somebody, this guy is going to create a new character, and he's going to be gunning for you. It's his choice if he's going to be gunning for you. Because you see, and the thing is, in this game world, a player death is worthwhile. You're going to grow skills. You're going to develop skills. You're going to have a skill set, either in command, in combat, in crafting, in harvesting, in whatever kind of thing. You are the best wagon crafter of your guild. That's a skill you can develop as part of the skill tree. You know what I'm getting at, Mike? What am I trying to talk about here? So we're talking about slaving a character to another character, right? So what else could we do? How else could you employ that? Like, say there's a big bad boss. Because the other thing is that if a guild gets enough money, what's going to be encouraged of them to do by the game developers is like, hey, all right, now make dungeons for your money. And that's why you can have player constructed structures. You're going to create a vault that and a hold. Basically everything's going to have equal money in a way. So the amount of play you put into it, you're going to create items inherently. So this is the game model you present. But you're creating items in game world, and they have a value. So everything has a value. Money has a value. Money can be exchanged for experience, which can in turn be exchanged for skills. So it's all about just getting money in this game. But that's it, money and experience. Really, it's about getting experience in this game. So everything you do, everything you're involved in, is going to give you experience in one way, shape, or form or another. And if it's not that, then you are actually going to be able to procure the elite item you want. No, there's not going to be these random drops. It's going to be like, pay me for this, kind of thing. But anyways, so that's part of the lifestyle of the game. In other words, this is how you can play the game. You can literally just leave your guy plugged in, walk away for a month, log back in, having forgotten about the guy, and actually be amazed that oh hey, this guy is actually ready to be used. And if that guy was killed, you'd have an offspring, with as many skills. Bam, right there. So, it can be accessed from any point of view, any level. An experienced guy or a lame guy or a guy that just wants to pursue a certain task, kind of thing. And that's his occupation. It's just like, oh, I'm going to go kill a bunch of things, And it's like, oh, so he's going to run around and raid things, and that's how he relieves his stress. It's by being a homicidal maniac, But it's like, hey, it's a stress reliever, frankly. So that's the model I got for the game.